You know, I know these youngsters nowadays, for whatever reason, no matter what ethnicity, they're using that N-word, and for some reason, the black community has allowed for people to use it with the A on the end, as if that makes it better or that's cool.
I need y'all to call me a YM, and that stands for young man.
Before we dive in, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You don't want to miss this one. Alright, today we have a man who claims Mexican, who speaks about the N-word and the blacks' use of it. And if you like this video, I drop one like this every day. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. Now let's get into it.
You know, I know these youngsters nowadays, for whatever reason, no matter what ethnicity, they're using that N-word, and for some reason, the black community has allowed for people to use it with the A on the end, as if that makes it better or that's cool. I'm old school. I don't believe that word should be used. I've been around. I've done time in prison with blacks that did not like blacks using the N-word. I think that's a better stance. I wish more black people were of that stance and mindset and would check their own people so that everyone would stop using that word.
Okay, so when we look at the timeline of the word, the N-word, the earliest uses and origins come from the Latin 1st century BCE onward. It was Niger or Niger, black, a descriptive word for color. And then in the 1400s by the Spanish and Portuguese, negro became negro, which means black, used for the Africans encountered during early colonial expansion. And then by the 1500s, the English 1500s, the word negro enters the English language and describes African people, borrowed directly from the language of Spanish and Portuguese. 16 and 1700s, this is when it becomes a racial slur in English colonies. Negro becomes distorted into nigger. First documented uses appear in early 1600s writing. 17 and 1800s, it becomes solidified racial slur during the slavery trades in American slavery. No longer just descriptive, because before it was just describing a person, but now it is tied into inferiority, violence, and dehumanization. And from the 1800s to the mid 1900s, it becomes a widespread racist usage, right? Widespread and racist usage becomes the standard racist insult in the US and other places, used casually by the lighter pigmented people of America. Prominent in literature, minstrel shows, and Jim Crow culture, heavily associated with segregation, systemic racism, lynching, etc. In the early 1900s, during the Harlem Renaissance and the Jazz Age, some black communities used the word informally among themselves, marking, their shared experiences. All right, but still not allowed to the outsiders. In the 1960s and 70s, the slur became publicly rejected. A new form with the A at the end, going from nigger to nigga, within the African American vernacular, right? Reflecting brotherhood, struggle and closeness, linguistically tied to African Americans. All right. But during the 80s and the 90s, with the emergence of the dumbass hip-hop, hip-hop became mainstream, and the version of nigger to nigga became mainstream as well. Especially with artists like the NWAs, and then you move on to Tupac, Biggie, Jay, pretty much everybody after NWA. Then it becomes globally recognized, right? So when you get to the late 90s and the 2000s, now everybody feels comfortable saying it because it's been popularized in entertainment, right? You got the Latino community who says it's a lot. You got some white people say it because they feel like they're down with the hip-hop culture, so we can say it too because we're with these people. And then, so if you go on to 2010s today, still common in rap, media, entertainment. They say inside black culture is a double-edged sword used for camaraderie, endearment, and emphasis, but also debated outside of the black culture, highly controversial, acceptance in certain regions, communities, and personal relationships. Alright, so by 2000 onward, it just became something cool to say, even though it used to be demonizing us. And it's something else I want y'all to notice too. Alright, so I want to take a look at other groups and their slurs, and how, I guess, how the melanated people took the word nigger and turned it to nigga. We'll look at some other groups who, I guess you could say, reclaimed or switched over, vice versa, their slur. When you look at the Jewish people, they do have a slur that I believe gets thrown to them at times. It rhymes with bike and starts with a K. Alright, so while you know they have those things, and then we go to LGBTQ, you see these words, the queer, dyke. Then you go to the disabled community, crippled, retard. Alright, well, this is what they're saying. I'm just reading, right? Native American with the word red skin, Latinos with Chicano, and African Americans or melanated people, I like to say, the N-word. But the thing I wanna point out with these, in contrast to the melanated community with the word nigga, is the fact that these words are in-house. Alright? These words don't go outside of these people's community. Jewish, LGBTQ, AAVE community, disabled, the Native Americans, whatever you want to, you know, they keep it in-house, bro. Outsiders can't call them that, right? So my thing to the melanated community is this. All right, do y'all want to use it? Do you want other people to use it? Right? Can you keep it in house? Are you okay with other people using it? Right? Because if you can't keep it in house, but you're not okay with other people using it, you shouldn't use it at all then. That's my thing. But if you are going to use it, try and keep it in house. If you don't want other people to use it. Otherwise, you basically done made famous a word that demeaned a whole group of people for over 300 years. Alright, so it's a decision to make. It's just a question, you know. So if you do like the video, click like, definitely subscribe if you want daily videos like this. And I guess it's just time to make decisions, right? So with that being said, we out. Shout out to my YMs the most, of course, and of course subscribe. Thank you.